Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalren and currently I am enjoying Legion fairly well. But not everybody's happy with Legion, and some people would think that Legion would be even more fun regarding PvP if a few of the things that the game had in the past were brought back. So today I want to tell you some of the things that PvPers want out of Legion right here, right now. So let's get to the list. Hopefully you guys enjoy this list and let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Hit the like on the video if you support the channel, and let me stop beating around the bush and take it to the video. One of the best pastimes of World of Warcraft PvP are the duels, which we don't really see as many in Legion. Sure, we see a duel here and there, but not like before. In the past, I remember people hanging around outside of Orgrimmar, from server to server, and people hanging outside of Stormwind dueling area, and just dueling each other, class by class, spec by spec, and it was a ton of fun. But ever since Legion dropped, the dueling scene has become a lot more rare, because in a way, Legion kind of messed up the idea of duels, let alone world PvP. They added a thing called PvP templates, which are enabled in BGs and arenas, and these templates scale your class to balance you out for PvP while keeping you competitive in terms of PvE. While these templates do work and they do balance the game as well as they possibly can, maybe they could do a little bit more tweaking, but the PvP templates aren't applied in duels or world PvP areas. So if you have a class that's really bursty in a raid situation, you're bringing that same burst raid situation into a duel. Therefore, you're creating disbalance, and therefore nobody really learns PvP wise how a certain class functions. You also have legendaries, which are amazing. Some of the legendary additions into the game made the game a lot more fun than before. All these legendaries can either boost your DPS when it comes to raid and when it comes to performing in terms of any PvE content. A lot of these legendaries can give you some of the general random effects, like an absorb for a short time, or an ability to have feint give you a heal over 4 or 5 seconds. But these legendaries honestly killed it in terms of duels. It was a lot of fun, and duels are a great aspect of the game, but with the way that Legion has treated PvP, they didn't look at all aspects of PvP. They covered battlegrounds, they've covered arenas, they're doing balancing here and there for certain spells, but they completely missed out the part that people enjoy, the pastime of a duel. I remember way back in the day when people made montages, just about every single great montage had some BG footages, had some 1vx footages, had maybe some great arena footages, but they also have had duels. In the past, it was a joy just to see some of the classes that are supposed to lose a duel where they are least favorable in it, coming out on top and demolishing the opposition. That was a ton of fun, and I honestly enjoyed it at the time, and currently duels are just not quite a thing anymore. Number 2 on the list is PvP gear. Now, I do understand the reasoning for Blizzard to go into Legion and make it so that gear is gear and change the way PvP system works, where it gives you your PvP template based off of your item level. So henceforth, you don't really need to farm a specific set of gear just for PvP. You only have one set that is very easy to keep up with. That means less farming in general, and it's just such a seamless integrated process. But we lost a few things when it comes to PvP gear. One of the things that we lost with PvP gear, and the fact that we earn gear just for PvP, is if somebody does PvP content, and that's what they honestly do with World of Warcraft, is just PvP, then they were better geared and better suited for player versus player combat. Right now, everybody out in a World Quest area can deal the same amounts of damage for some classes depending on how much damage they deal and if they have specific legendaries, but there's no difference between a PvPer and a PvEer. When somebody does PvP, they should be able to perform better at PvP. Henceforth we had gear that allowed you to do so, whether it was resilience or PvP power or whatever other attributes you would collect for your gear. Regardless, we had gear with specific sets that allowed you to do better at PvP. It was kind of like a reward system. If you did PvP, you earned gear. You earned that gear through the honor system, honor points and conquest points, and that was a reward all on its own. And honestly, I thought that system was kind of fun. I felt that it was enough to be something for a player to keep striving towards every single day, someone to keep bettering on and improving on every single day, and it's just a system that allowed you to control what rewards you get, compared to the current RNG system of PvP gear, where the gear for PvP actually doesn't really even mean that much anymore. PvP gear also had 2-piece and 4-piece sets, which were a ton of fun. I mean, when I'm going into a raid environment and I finally got a 2-piece set or 4-piece set, that might change the playstyle of my class, or the rotation, or give me some unique cool ability to use, or buff certain ability that I already have to use in an interesting way, that's exciting. But this is something we just don't get from PvP. We do have honor talents, which were supposedly basically a replacement for that old system of PvP 2-pieces and 4-piece sets, but when you finally farmed up to get your 2-piece, and when you finally farmed so now you can use your 4-piece, there was a sense of just immense accomplishment when you finally get to that point. And I honestly believe that that system was a little bit more fun. We had trinkets that we could use for PvP. We had a specific system that we could use for PvP. And again, a lot of that system went to the honor talents. But I felt that when you could have a trinket and a 2-piece and a 4-piece, and you had your talents and you had some other abilities that you could use for PvP, I honestly felt that that was a little bit more of a fun and a wholesome PvP experience, rather than just going into a dungeon and PvE there, and with the prune of abilities that happen, you go into a battleground and then you feel like you're just continuing to PvE there as well. Now for this next bit, I don't actually have the footage because I would need some Warlock footage, but I believe that a lot of PvPers do want a lot more interactive abilities just for PvP. For example, I think this is the best example in the game right now, is Destruction Warlock talent of Nether Ward. So let's read the ability real quick. It lets the Warlock reflect all harmful spells for 5 seconds at a 45-second cooldown. It has an ability with more than one use. It can be used to reflect chaos bolts and other powerful spells, which is what a lot of people are expecting to do with it, but it can also be used to reflect crowd control. It can be used to immune Death Knight and Shaman Interrupt, so you basically have a wall or a clear casting with Chaos Bolts as a Warlock, and allows you interesting plays with this ability with a risk and reward factor. For example, this ability can be spell stolen by mages and cleansed by priests. It is an interesting ability with a fairly long cooldown, fairly short duration, but with this ability you can actually do a lot of things with it. So I feel the more abilities they add of like that into the game, and me and a lot of PvPers agree on this, the more interactive abilities with more than one use they add in the game, the more fun the game will be, the more depth there will be into PvP, and the more that everybody will feel that yes, this is PvP, it actually feels like PvP, I'm actually doing some PvP things, PvP is fun again. Now, one of the things that is less interesting is abilities like Auto Bubble. I don't think that Auto Bubble is a bad ability. A paladin is going to bubble either way, but an ability with just an auto effect takes away control from the player. Nether Ward is an interesting ability with a longish cooldown, short duration, more than one use, ability for it to be spell stolen, and it's not an ability you would just burn out of nowhere. You would want to save it for specific situations, but it has a lot of player control in it. And with more spells that have player control and interest effects, the better the game will be in the long run, in my opinion and in the opinion of many others. And to save the best for last, I want to talk a bit about the solo queue arena system, which is something players have asked for a while. I feel like solo queue would be a great addition to World of Warcraft, especially in Legion, to be able to find games quick and easy instead of having to look for partners. I don't really know that many games where you actually have to look for people to play with. Even the PvE aspects of the game, be it LFR or dungeons, it auto queues you with some of the other players. Granted, for mythic runs and maybe even raid runs, you do have to search for groups, and I feel like that's something that should stay. But I feel like PvP could benefit from solo queues. It already works, the system of solo queues, in games like League of Legends and Overwatch, which treat the solo queue system competitive, where people are able to get their ranks or points or rewards or whatever they end up earning in any of the games that are doing solo queue systems. And I think it would be great for the game. Currently, it can be difficult for some players to find others to play with. Let's say you want to play with great players, but gladiators only want to play with other gladiators. So you're never going to play with some of the best players in the game and learn from them. So in most cases, players try to find somebody of similar MMR. But let's say you're a 1700 player and you want to look and see if you can find other 1700 players. In most cases, 1700 players want to play with 1800 players, and 1800 players want to play with 1900 players so they can play with somebody better than them and learn from them, and 1900 players want to play with 2k players, and on and on and on. It's kind of a system of a catch-22. Nobody wants to play with you unless you have the rating, but you need to play games in order to earn your rating. But you need to have rating in order to be able to play games with people, and it's just a system that just doesn't quite work as well as I think it should. And honestly, I feel like solo queue would allow to alleviate some of these issues and allow players to quick and easily queue games. And one of the best advantages of Legion in terms of class design is, in the past, a double stack in certain classes. Let's say you do a solo queue and you end up as an elemental shaman with a restoration shaman. In the past, when you bring same class or same of each class into an arena, you are kind of limited in terms of what kind of utilities you're bringing into the game. And most times you wouldn't really want to double stack certain classes, because let's say paladins, you both have bobs, you both have bubbles. Let's say a holy paladin bobs you, well, now you can't use the bubble for a while. But with a lot of changes that happen to classes and specs, when you bring in two of each class, like for example you bring a shadow priest and a discipline priest, one of you can spec for a stun, the other can spec for a fear, so then you're not really edging onto each other's, I guess, utilities that you bring into an arena. So you have a lot more customizability in terms of what you're bringing to the arena with a change of talents and change of class design. So I feel like this kind of system would be a perfect implementation into World of Warcraft PvP right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of some of the things that PvPers want out of PvP in World of Warcraft Legion. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Again, be sure to hit the like if you support the channel, and if you guys have some of the other things you would like for Blizzard or for Legion PvP to bring back from, let's say, older expansions, let me know what you would want to see again in the game in the comments below. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope everybody's having a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.